Today I wanted to talk about caffeine. If you've been watching any of my other videos, you will know that at the moment I'm going through a very, very difficult time. Hence me making these videos. They're sort of therapy for me because no other therapy has been working. So I just get on here and I just talk.
Son of a...
So yeah, I've been making YouTube videos just to talk about my thoughts and my feelings, to vlog my progress, I guess. Don't even know if I'm making any progress, but you know, vlog my ups, my downs, my journey. I'm hoping that I can look back on these videos in a year or 2 years and just be like, you got this. So basically I am struggling at the moment with depression, which has been brought on by a few events in my life, and I am just, every day is a struggle for me to just be, to be fair, and I'm just trying everything that I can to just cope with this thing called life. So one of the things that I have done to help me do that is I have stopped drinking caffeine. So to be honest, I was never really a coffee drinker anyway. I love the taste of coffee and I always have loved the taste of coffee, but I hate the anxiety that it gives me. Literally when I drink coffee I get anxious, like I get the shakes. It's like I can feel it coursing through my veins. Yeah, so I've always been mostly a tea drinker. I say mostly, yeah, like I drink a lot of tea. I remember when I was growing up, around 16, you know, when you start doing like essays and stuff and exams and all of that, I just remember I used to just do my revision with, you know, endless cups of tea. I used to have like 6 or 7 a day, and I used to have a lot of sugar in my tea. Like there was one point that I had 7 sugars in my tea. No word of a lie. I used to love, it's so weird, but I don't know if anyone else does this, but I used to love toast with loads of butter on it, and I used to love to dip that into my sugary tea. Like it is the best thing ever. Love to go back to those days. But yeah, there was I think I got to like 18 and my friend came over and what's that sound? Oh, it's just outside. My friend came over and she was like, this has to stop, like you can't have 7 sugars in your tea. And then I kind of like had to look at myself in the mirror and be like, yeah, okay, this has to stop. So then I cut it down to 3, and now fast forward however many years, I've cut it down to 2 sugars in my tea. Sometimes I'll have 1 sugar in my tea, and I can just about handle no sugars. You know, if I go around to someone's house and I don't want to be that person that has the sugar, then I'll be like, okay, no sugars, and I can handle it, but I prefer 1 to 2 sugars in my tea depending on how tired I am and just how much of a sweet tooth like how much sugar I'm craving that day. So yeah, someone that loves tea, that too can give me anxiety if I have a lot of cups of tea in the day. So yeah, I have just completely stopped, and I kid you not, it has been amazing. You know, for those of you that drink tea or coffee, it is like, it's addictive, like it's part of your routine. Like when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is go to the kitchen, fill up the kettle, put the kettle on. That's before I even go to the toilet. Like I do that because I like it to be, the kettle to be warming up while I'm on the toilet. So yeah, You just don't feel like you can start the day without your cup of tea. So what I've done is I've bought decaf tea and decaf coffee. Now that I've bought decaf coffee and tea, I've actually been drinking more coffee than tea because, like I said, I love the taste of coffee. I just didn't like how it made me feel. So I've actually been sort of drinking more coffees now than tea, but decaf. The first thing I noticed is that I felt like fine. I didn't feel like I was missing anything. Just the act of having the tea or the coffee and the sugars in it and just having it and it tasting like tea and coffee made my brain think I've had mine. It made my brain think I've had my tea and coffee for the day, for the morning, I guess. So I didn't notice I didn't notice that I was missing anything. It's like I tricked my brain into thinking I'd had one. Which I guess I had, it's just got no caffeine in it, so that was great. But what I did notice is that I was actually drinking more cups. So after I just had one, maybe like an hour later I'd want another one. And then, you know that thing when you're bored, you just kind of go to the fridge or you just kind of like make a cup of tea. Like, I noticed that I was doing that quite often if I didn't have anything like in my mouth, that sounds quite bad, to sip on. I just needed a cup of tea or coffee. So I think I'm averaging about 4 cups now a day, whereas before I'd probably only have 2 maximum a day. So that's one thing I noticed. The second thing that I've noticed is that, oh my gosh, the first 3 days I didn't notice anything, and then on day 4 I started having banging headaches, like really bad. Like, I would think that I was having a stroke. I don't know what having a stroke feels like, but that's what I felt like. But I have anxiety anyway, so I always think that I'm dying of something. So yeah, like my eyes, like I couldn't really, in bright lights or at a certain time of the day, normally in the evening, my eyes would just be a bit more like struggling. So yeah, that's what I noticed. That lasted 8 days, because I remember it started on a Monday and it didn't finish until the Tuesday after. So it lasted about 8 days of headaches, which, there was one point that I wanted to give in and just be like, I am just gonna have caffeine, but I just told myself no. Like, Google says this is 9 to 14 days. I think it said 9 to 14 days. So you just gotta ride it out. Like, you've come this far, just ride it out. So I did. I didn't take any painkillers because I don't believe in taking painkillers for stuff like that, so I didn't take any painkillers. I just had to ride out the headaches, and they were horrible. The third thing I noticed is sleep. Like, my sleep is so much better. I think that started like straight away, but at the same time I have been exercising quite a lot, so I don't know if it's a combination of exercise and stopping caffeine, or if it's the exercise or if it's the stopping caffeine. Whatever it is, I can't say that it's definitely the caffeine, but I have been sleeping so well. Like, before, when I am in bed, I lay awake for literally ever, for like an hour or 2. It takes me a long time to get to sleep normally. My brain is racing and it's thinking about so many things all at once, and it's like when I'm in bed is my time that I think. It's not my time that I sleep. And also another thing, when I'm at bedtime, normally I'll wake up several times during the night as well. TMI here, too much information, but I always need the toilet quite regularly, so I normally wake up like 2 or 3 times during the night to go to the toilet, or just wake up naturally for no reason. But what I've noticed with the caffeine is that I still wake up sometimes once, but only once during the night. But what I notice is as soon as I get into bed, I'm out. My eyes are closed and I'm out. That has happened like every day. I stopped drinking caffeine like 3 weeks ago now, and that has happened every day, and I am amazed. Like, I can't even remember falling asleep, whereas normally I'll remember that I was thinking about this, I was thinking about that, but I just can't even, I'm just out. And the other thing that I've noticed coinciding with the sleep is that I am dreaming every single night. I don't know if it's normal to dream every single night, but previously I didn't really remember my dreams. I did used to occasionally, you know, have nightmares or have dreams that I remember, but what's weird now is that every single night I am dreaming, like fully dreaming, and I'm remembering most of my dreams. That could also coincide with the fact that I'm going through quite a bit of stuff at the moment in my life. It could, but I don't know. Like, I don't know, but I'm dreaming every night, and I like it. I like being able to remember my dreams. It makes me feel like I've had a proper deep sleep. So yeah. The next thing following on from that is that, you know, when you wake up in the morning and you just do not want to get out of bed, like you just want that extra hour, you just want that extra 2 hours, you're just always wanting that extra. At the moment now as well, as soon as not even my alarm, these days I wake up before my alarm, like my body clock is just waking up at like 7 a.m. I am just awake and I have energy, whereas before I didn't have any energy. Like I could sleep for hours, but now I wake up and I'm like awake and alert and I'm wanting to get out of bed. I love it. Once again, don't know if that's got anything to do with the exercise as well. It could, you know, it's a plus from the caffeine. The other thing that I have noticed, number 4 is this now, is of course anxiety. Don't get me wrong, I still do have anxiety and the odd panic attacks, but they're a lot more minor panic attacks now. I say that last night was medium. On a scale of 1 to 10 it was a 4. Yeah, it was a 4. So yeah, but normally now my panic attacks are like 1 to 2 because I can feel it coming on and then I'm like, nah, I just like distract myself and then it's gone. Whereas before I would just like really like get into my panic attack and think about it and like let it manifest. But now, like, because I don't have caffeine in me, it's like I can stop it, which is fantastic. It's great. And my energy as well feels natural. It doesn't feel like a fake energy that I have. Overall, it's been good. I feel great. I would recommend anybody to stop drinking caffeine. It just makes you feel a lot better. If you're an anxious person with anxiety and panic attacks and depression, I think it has helped my depression. I can't say directly how, but I guess all these other things that I've just mentioned have helped my depression, getting better sleep, having more energy, you know, less anxious. I think all those things do help your depression, so definitely it has helped me a lot. So yeah, do it. Not gonna lie to you, it is hard the first week or so with the headaches and you are gonna wanna just give in. I don't know, maybe some people don't get headaches at all, but you know, if you're a full-on like coffee drinker, I could imagine that you're gonna get headaches. Because I wouldn't say that I'm one of them people who wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh my god, like, I need to have a coffee. So if you're one of them people, I think you're probably gonna get worse headaches than I did. I've just realised that there's actually no reason at all for us to be drinking caffeine. Like, what is the reason? Along with that, I've also quit alcohol, which I'll do a separate video about, and all the things that that's helped me with. But yeah, this was what's happened to me when drinking caffeine. When quitting caffeine, and it's been amazing.